name's Gordon Amato. I'm the aquatic director here at Loyola Blakefield, varsity water polo and varsity swim coach.
Have you ever played water polo before?
Yes, I have played water polo. My freshman year started in 2001 at Mount St. Joe's, played 4 years varsity. Then I continued on after high school and played some club in college. And then when I graduated, I played masters from 2009 till 2019. And then, 2020. Well, I guess 19 because COVID shut it down. So we lost all pool access and I haven't been able to play since. Love the game. It's a great way for swimmers to show off their athleticism, their toughness, and their endurance. Probably one of the best sports out there, but I'm probably biased.
How has you being a player in the past helped with you coaching the team?
Playing the game obviously helps you understand situational awareness in the game. I believe if I didn't play water polo, it'd probably be very difficult to coach. It's just like baseball. If you've never played baseball, it's hard to explain someone baseball. I feel like it gives me an understanding of the rules, the way the game flows, and the expectations of what you need to do to be successful. There would be times when coaching, I could call back on my own personal experiences and was able to apply it while coaching.
What was your first year experience like coaching Loyola's water polo team?
My first year was like any first time position or first time experience. Had its ups and downs. It was a lot of learning, just learning the people coming in as an outsider into a tight knit community. I had to work my way in. I had to earn the respect and trust of the guys in the pool, and so there was challenges with that. But overall, I felt like once I was able to establish relationships with the players, build trust with the players, I feel like we got from where we started to where we ended. I felt like we had a tremendous amount of growth.
Do you think the team had a successful season?
Well, a lot of people define a successful season as having a positive win record or winning championships. I feel like we had a tremendously successful season. We started out very slow. We were not working together as a team, but we were able to grow and learn and overcome all that, and we started to click really well as a team. We went on a 6-0 run at the end. We made it all the way to the championship game, and we played a very tough Gilman, and I thought we played very well against them, especially the first half. The second half we had some struggles, but overall I thought the season was very successful, not counting the wins, losses, but just as the way that we were able to overcome adversity and then started to work together as a team. I felt like that was the most positive aspect, was watching these guys grow and mesh together. So yes, very successful season.
What team do you think was the most challenging to face?
So while we split Gilman and then they beat us in the championship game, so they were 2-1 to us, I thought Gilman was challenging, but honestly I feel like Spalding put together, I thought they were the toughest opponents we went against, and we had some of the most exciting and successful games against them. They beat us first, and pretty much almost a blowout, and we came back in triple overtime to beat them at home on their senior night. Was one for the books, one for the ages, and then going against them on a Friday night at the MIA semifinals, and just playing an insanely well evenly matched game and coming out on top. I believe we won by 2, or did we win by 1? I can't remember. It was very close, but that was one of a great games to be a part of. Was all the Spalding games. I will say, I feel like a little bit, not making excuses for us, but I felt like a little bit we played our hearts out on Friday night, and it was an incredibly exhausting game. And then to go up against Gilman, who only had to play McDonough, and I watched that game. That game was not nearly as intense or as physically and mentally draining as our game was. So I feel like Spalding was our opponent of the year.
Yep. What goals do you have for the future of the program?
Well, my goals are to go in and be competitive in the league and to win MIA championships. My goal is to win as many as possible. I want our record board up there to have, 24, 25, 26, 27. I want one after another. I just want to go in and I want to be the powerhouse in the MIAs. I want to dominate teams. I want people, when we go to Pennsylvania games and like the Battle of the Beast of the East, or we go down to Battle of the Beltway, I want people, when they see us walk in, to be trembling in their boots. I want to be that good. And I feel like we can get there. It starts with, right now we have a middle school program with one of the largest numbers of middle schoolers coming out that we've ever had. Building up our younger guys, getting them interested, getting them excited, getting them to the camps over the summer, getting them to be coming out to our games and watching varsity play, and just buying into the whole experience of being here and being part of Loyola Aquatics.
Can you introduce yourself and give us a quick background?
Sure. I'm Keith Shirtle. I'm the old retired head coach of water polo here at Loyola Blakefield. It started way back in '98 because I had a young man, very big, strong young man, and he wanted kind of a banging sport, even though he was a very good swimmer. So that was a way to keep the big, strong swimmers in the pool in their off season, was water polo. And he and I started the program.
So what was the biggest hardship or challenge in creating the team?
It was a different world back in 1998 here at Loyola Blakefield. And I don't want to sound terrible, but the dollars were not as free-flowing. So when Joe Carreri and myself brought it up to the school, they said, well, you can get it started, but you have to raise some money for everything. So that honestly was the hardest thing, because we didn't have goals, we didn't have balls, we didn't have cash, we didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe and I sat down, we figured out how much stuff would cost, and that's when we had our first 100-mile relay swim. It was to raise money for equipment for the program, and some of the equipment we're still using today.
Mm-hmm. Is that the old goals that are in there?
That's the old goals, yep. And way back then, a couple of the schools were playing, and they were playing in the spring. It was not a league sport. And our actual first school championship thing, we didn't win. We didn't know what we were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But it was at Calvert Hall, and all four schools, Calvert Hall, McDonough, Gilman, and Loyola, came together, and we bought a trophy. And we ran our own little tournament, and the winner won. And that actually was the beginning of the league having water polo.
Okay. So that kind of leads into my next question. How have you seen the program and the league grow just over the years?
Well, I wish the league would grow more, but it's tough because there aren't pools. So the program itself has grown because we went from being nothing to winning Eastern Prep water polo championships a couple times. And trust me, when we started, we were terrible. And when we won Eastern Preps, every time we've won it, we've been very good. And sometimes Calvert Hall's won at Eastern Preps back in the day, and we were second. So the two best teams on the East Coast were right here in Baltimore. So that's how the league has grown, is by the talent of some of the kids playing. Tanner Terrell, for us, going to Pepperdine. We've never had anyone in this little league play at that high level. So that's cool.
What is your favorite memory of your years of coaching and just being around the team?
I think the first year we won, because we were second to Calvert Hall. Mr. Donald Anderson, who was a really good coach for Calvert Hall, they beat us, I think, 5, 6, 7 years in a row. And a lot of times they beat us by one goal each time we played them, one goal in the championship game and one goal at Eastern Preps. So they were one goal better. Finally, we won. So that first one was the sweet one. That's the only time I've ever been thrown into a pool.
So there have only been two teams, if I'm correct, to win the MIAs and to win the Eastern Prep tournament, which was the 2013 team and the 2021 team.
Correct.
Which team do you think is the greatest team between those two?
Oh, no question, 2021. Right. There's never been a team in the league, even during all those years of Calvert Hall's dominance. there's not a single coach that I talked to that didn't say that 2021 team here, and I didn't coach them, they were without a doubt the best water polo team ever in this league.
Do you think it was just the coaching that did it, or just the level of talent?
It was the level of talent.
Yeah.
The best coach in the league, I think, is Gilman's coach, Vaughn Smith, but it doesn't matter. A donkey's not going to win the Kentucky Derby, and no one has donkeys, but when you have thoroughbreds, you have a much better chance of winning. And that 2021 team, they were thoroughbreds.
Awesome. So I know you mentioned Tanner Terrell. We've had some great players who go to Navy. In your opinion, who do you think is the greatest player to come from Loyola's program?
Tanner.
Loyola's team? Tanner?
Tanner. Not necessarily the most skilled. He's as skilled as some of the other guys, the Tyler Thines of the world, Tyler Elford, on and on and on. But Tanner had everything: size, speed, IQ. I mean, Graham Linner was probably the next best before Tanner. And the only reason I'm putting Tanner above Graham is because skill-wise, I think they're even. Physically, Tanner's dominant, and Graham knows that.
Do you think that the team and the program not only provides skills in the pool and with the team, but can also teach you lessons to become like a better man in the real life?
I mean, I think so, but I don't think so any more than any other ball passing sport, because you have to share the wealth. And I mentioned Graham Linder earlier. If we have to rate him, he's our second best ever. MI championships, Graham Linder I think scored 2. Matt Clark scored 7. Matt Clark scored 7 because Graham Linder was on the team. If Graham Linder was not that good of a player, Matt would not have had 7, and there's a good chance we would not have won. So that aspect it's like that in basketball and lacrosse, in whatever. So there are life lessons, through sport and through helping each other out and through being able to see the pluses and minuses in a game.
I know you mentioned about how much struggle you guys had with Calvert Hall. What team over your years of coaching gave you the most trouble and the most challenges? Was it Calvert Hall?
Yes. In the old days it was Calvert Hall. I would venture to say that right now it's probably Gilman. I mean, everything goes in cycles. The one thing I can say about Loyola Blakefield is we've never been bad. And that's the biggest compliment I can have. The years we were second so many times in a row, I told the parents, I said, well, we could be 4th or 5th and not even make it to the championships. And they, no, we don't want that. I said, so definitely Calvert Hall because of the long string. Right now, Gilman, and who knows, in 5 years it might be someone else.
All right, thank you.
Cool.
When did you start playing water polo?
I started playing in 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay.
And then I quit 7th and kept playing 8 through 12. Yeah.
What made you quit in 7th grade?
I wanted to play football, but I wasn't very good.
Well, why did you decide to start playing in the first place?
Well, I have 2 older brothers who both played. I kind of just thought the same. I was just gonna be better than both of them. So.
Were you ever a team captain or a leader on the team?
I was, yeah, for probably 4 out of 5 years.
What responsibilities did that entail?
I mean, it entailed working with all the characters on the team. Some guys don't want to put in effort or anything like that. So you have to work with that. And then for me personally, because of the way our team was structured, me and another captain ran the practices essentially, and I came up with the plays. And yeah, and I was the guy people would come with questions with.
All right. Well, being on the team from middle school until your senior year, what was your favorite memory?
Favorite memory? I can't really place one, but I think it's just like practices in the early mornings and the late afternoons, like nighttime practices we had.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, those practices felt better than like winning some of those games. Because I mean, yeah, at least I was with the guys.
Mm-hmm. What would you rate your overall experience about the entire program as a whole?
This is gonna be a little controversial since we won last year, but I think we were a little unsuccessful.
Really?
So you look at the core group of our guys, we were like really good, but we just didn't. We only won 1 year, which I think is still better than most, but
yeah,
I think we could have done better.
And last question: what lessons or practices did you learn from playing that can be applied to real life?
I learned like 3 things mainly. It was keep myself in shape, keep my friends close, and you want to do the things you don't like. Keep doing the things no one else wants to do. No one wants to be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
like lifting or 6 a.m. swimming. It's,